Welcome to Ascending with Toni Rochelle, and I am your host. Thank you for joining us here on our platform. I hope that you guys have been watching, because you know we have had some amazing guests on this platform. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Get ready for some wellness, get ready for some healing, get ready for some storytelling. Now, have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt sad or angry or just like ready to give up? Well, I know I have, and I know you have too. But some kind of way, you got up, you pushed through, you made things happen. Because you know, you can't just turn off the switch of life. You got to keep going. No matter what comes against you, no matter what tries to defeat you, no matter what tries to pull you down, you got to get up. And you gotta push through. You gotta thrive it out. And I know you like, who is this lady? Who is she? Why is she telling me this? It ain't that easy. Yeah, I know. I know it ain't easy. Life is not easy. It shows up whenever it feels like it. It kicks us in the behind when it feels like it. But we have to push through. Because guess what? You're not gonna always be in that situation. You're not gonna always feel the way that you're feeling. You're not always gonna be angry. Something's gonna turn around for you, but you gotta want it. And I believe that you can do it. So watch this platform, get ready for my guests, and get ready to keep ascending. Don't go nowhere, because we about to start a great show.
This world we live in is so unforgiving. We all have setbacks, but the comeback make the biggest difference. Yeah, what doesn't kill you make you more resilient. So even when your world is falling down, you gotta keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah, gotta keep ascending. Yeah, even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah, gotta keep ascending. Yeah, even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Her pain is my pain, her struggle's my struggle. I know how it feels and nobody is there to care about your dreams and your hustle.
Welcome back to Ascending with Toni Rochelle, and as promised, I have my guests in the building. Let me introduce Miss Sami Van Mathis.
Oh, thank you for having me on.
How are you, Queen?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm just ecstatic that you're here.
Well, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get right into it, and what I want to know is, how have you ascended through life?
Oh, goodness. My ascension story. Here goes. Well, I'm an author and a teacher, an educator, and a world traveler as well.
What a title.
Kind of, kind of a combination of both. As you can see on the table, I have a couple of books. I've actually been writing books since I was like 9 years old. The first thing my parents
9 years old?
Well, the first thing my parents put in my crib was not like a Barbie doll or something, but my dad gave me my first journal at 7.
Wow.
I was reading at 3, Little Green Eggs and Ham, Dr. Seuss, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was already like really into writing by the age of 7, and and I also was a big fan of science fiction, Star Trek, Star Wars, things like that. So
Are you a Trekkie?
I am. Ooh. Yes. I love. I've been to conventions. I've met most of the stars of Star Trek. So I'm a big fan.
I love it. I love it.
And so I was a big fan of that. And then I decided to start writing my own little science fiction books at 12. No, 9 actually, 9 years old. And then I got them published, of course, a couple of years later. You can't really publish at 9. There's a slight difference between your age of me at the age of 9 and the age of, when I actually published them. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you think about ascending, what was the time where you were in a dark space, or a time where you just felt stuck and you couldn't get out of that situation, or you felt like you couldn't get out of that situation?
Dark place. Well, growing up, I, kind of felt kind of sheltered a little bit. I was homeschooled by my parents and everything.
Wow.
And I always wanted to get out and go. And I think the reason why I like Star Trek is because I like exploring. So basically, so I would write a book about these girls exploring the galaxy together. And so I think that was part of my yearning to want to grow up and actually get out there and see the world. And I was able to do that. I've been to over 50 countries in my life now.
Wow.
But that was, I think I was using my books at that time to kind of vicariously travel through my characters, you know, at the time. Because, you know, when you're a kid, you have no money, you have no freedom, basically, outside of your parents, and it's, you know, you can't really do the things that you want to do until you get older.
Yeah, you just got to have imagination.
Yeah, imagination, a little bit of drive. So, but yeah, so basically I just threw out of my imagination in the books, and then I had her fly to all these different planets and, you know, meet all these interesting people, a little intrigue, a little romance here and there. And yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So you felt sheltered. So how was it when you finally, so you did you do high school homeschool too? So you did your whole schooling?
Pretty much, until college. And then we actually went off to regular city and state. So
how did that feel once you were like out of the house and you went off to college and you were around other people? And did you have any type of like, you know, anxiety or anything since you were...
I did have anxiety pretty bad at the beginning of my college career. I think from the ages of 18 till around 22, I was sometimes like getting to the space where I couldn't breathe, and you know, there's too many people surrounding me. Even now, I don't really like crowds. Like,
I bet.
Yeah, I don't like going to like really big concerts and like, you know, like of course, since Astro World Festival, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have the kind of fears, but even before that, I'm like, oh my gosh, what if something happens? What if I get trampled? There's too many people around. I can't breathe.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of thing.
That fear of just being around a lot of people.
Right.
So what do you do when you have to be around like a lot of people and people that you don't know or something?
Oh, now it's not so bad. Like I said, from 18 to like 24, it was really bad. But you know, the more you get out there, and I started traveling at the age of 22. But well, first time I went with my best friend to Japan. And after
that's a hard country to go to.
Not really. It's extremely safe. There's not a lot of crime there. You know, like literally, I could put my bag down on this table right here, leave and come back. I mean, not just in the studio, but I could do it at a restaurant.
Wow.
And 5 hours later, the bag will still be there.
You can't do that in Oakland, California, y'all.
I wouldn't really do that anywhere in the United States, really. I mean, even in a small town, I probably wouldn't do it. But over there, you know, it's very safe. So I thought that was a good, and I speak Japanese. I took it for 4 years in college.
Go, girl.
I thought that was the best, easiest country for me to start because I already knew the language.
Yeah,
it was safe,
that makes
sense. People don't even lock their car doors over there. So I remember going out with one of my friends and his mom, and they didn't lock the door. And I'm like, don't you think you need to lock that door? And she was telling me in Japanese, oh, don't worry, it's going to be fine. Nothing's going to happen. We went to the museum for 2 hours, came back. The car was still unlocked. No one touched it. No one did anything.
Oh, how I wish.
So,
oh, how I wish.
Different world.
Oh, how I wish. Definitely a different world. So, what was the time where you were in a place where it just felt dark, or it wasn't happiness, or you felt like you couldn't just get through with life, or it just brought you down a little bit?
Well, when I was younger, I kind of felt more, I wasn't that secure with myself, and basically between that 18 to 25 maybe period, I felt pretty down.
Was this during college?
Yeah, this was during the college days. You know, I've just kind of thrown out into the world, and I kind of really didn't know what to, you know, how to act in certain situations and how to really, you know, find my feet socially. So that was a pretty dark space. And of course, also when my grandmother passed away as well.
Oh, okay. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go take a commercial break. So don't go nowhere. We still got a lot more in store. We'll be back.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
This world we live in is so unforgiving. We all have setbacks, but the comeback make the biggest difference. Yeah, what doesn't kill you make you more resilient. So even when your world is falling down, you gotta keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Her pain is my pain. Her struggle's my struggle. Shit. I know how it feels and nobody is there to care about your dreams and your hustle.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
Beloved, many believers today are staggering at the promises of God, even though the word is never failed. That word has to come out of your mouth on a daily basis, continually. I'm going to say what God says. I'm going to say what I believe. I'm not going to believe what I see, but I'm believing what God says in His word.
Welcome back to Ascending with Toni Rochelle, and I'm still here with my guest, Sami.
Hi.
Hi. So we were just getting into talking about your grandmother before the break.
Yeah, she passed when I was, I think, like 24 or 25. So that was also in the same period of time. And I was really close to her, and my sister was as well. And she'd been in decline for a while mentally, so it was really, really hard on us having to take care of her. So that would definitely like ended that period of my life, because she died, around that time. So, it was kind of tough.
Now, I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother, because that's a hard loss.
Yeah.
Were you very close to her?
Very much. Very much.
Okay.
Yeah. I every year I think I turn into her a little bit more and more every year.
I know how that is.
So yeah.
Where exactly are you from?
I'm from San Francisco. I was born and raised in San Francisco, California.
Okay,
so
San Francisco. What part?
The Western Addition, if you know the Painted Ladies near the Alamo Square, not too far from there.
Okay. So we're going to go back into this extension.
Okay.
This extension story of when you were stuck, when you just couldn't push forward. We know that life shows up whenever it feels like it, and sometimes we just don't know what to do with it. So what was the time that you felt like that?
Well, basically, I think from 18 to like 25, like I think around my, pretty much after my grandmother died at 24, I was kind of in a 5-year rut-ish, because I was like, wasn't writing during that time. I wasn't really doing much. I had a job and everything, but everything was just kind of like going to the motions. I was kind of traveling then, but just going on kind of holidays and just coming back home. So I didn't really have that drive or desire to do anything, I think, from that period of time. But then later on, when I turned 30, everything kind of changed for me. It kind of started, I kind of started wanting to explore more. I got sick of working a corporate job. I wanted to publish my books. I wanted to write more. I wanted to get back, out there and explore a little bit more. I think I got my confidence like when I entered my 30s. So
I love that. Where did the confidence come from? Did you tell yourself you done being like this now that you're 30? Like, what did you do?
Well, that's the milestone things, things that you've always wanted to achieve. Like I said, I grew up sheltered, so there was always these things that I wanted to do. And when you're kind of in a rut in your life, you don't really think about like, okay, I need to achieve these goals. But I guess as the clock keeps ticking for you, that you're like, okay, it's now or never. I need to start on this now. I need to publish my books now. I need to maybe go abroad now, maybe live abroad a little bit more. So I was thinking about that more, and then finally I made it happen, I think at the age of 30-ish.
What did that process look like? Did you just start writing or typing, or did you have a certain place where you had to write? Or like, what was your method around that?
Well, basically, pretty much I just found my notes again and I started consolidating them. And because like I said, I wrote the original book when I was 9, and I had like dribs and drabs of it in the computer, but I never really took publication seriously. And so I finally, just got my notes together, started writing, and really seriously got to it. And then finally finished the first one. I published it, and then I published the next one about 3 years later. And now I'm working on the 3rd and 4th book concurrently.
Like girl magic right here. So let's start with the first book. Yeah. What is the first book about?
So it's called The Adventures of Rebel Spencer, and it's book 1, The Unexpected Voyage. And it's about this woman. She's like around the same age I was, like when I really started becoming like wanting to travel. 19, 20, 21. She wakes up on her birthday, and her parents give her enough money to buy half of a ship, and so she kind of does. She finds this other woman. They go half, and then they get a spaceship together, and they want to explore the galaxy. But on their maiden voyage, they kind of get lost in space. And yeah, so you kind of see what happens to them.
You really are a Trekkie, aren't you?
Yeah, it actually starts out in the Star Trek universe. I mean, of course, I never mention anything about like Starfleet or any kind of names from Star Trek. But if you look at it very closely, you will see a lot of things that like
that's
creatures,
familiar, right? Yeah,
that you know your imagination,
similarities.
Your imagination. But I don't want Paramount to like sue me or anything. So of course I can't use any of their species or terminology or anything like that. So basically the first book is about, it's a lot about women's empowerment as well. The lead character is a woman. You know, it is Women's Day, so it's good to talk about it. And she decides to just explore the galaxy with her friends. And, you know, they get into trouble, they meet men, they have a good time, they have crushes, they get into all this danger and stuff like that. It's kind of light.
Danger.
And, you know, it's funny and it's good at the same time. So these are young adult books technically, but, you know, I wanted to write them kind of like the way Harry Potter was written. Anyone of any age can read it and enjoy it. You don't have to be a kid to enjoy it. But I think probably from the age of 12 and up, I think this would be a good book for them. So.
I seen your face just like light up and glow up when you started talking about writing in your book and things like that. How important do you think writing and going after your dream is important?
It is important. I think now more so than ever, especially with all the digital stuff going around. You know, you're seeing nothing against talk shows or any blogs or anything like that, but you're seeing less and less of the written word and people going less to the written word. But it's so good to read a good old-fashioned book. I have a Kindle as well. Like, you know, when I'm traveling, I don't like to take a lot of heavy books around with me, but nothing makes me happier than just sitting down on a nice rainy weekend and just pulling out this big, gigantic book. Right now, it's so funny. I have it in my bag over there. I'm reading the first Game of Thrones book by George R.R. Martin. I'm a huge fan.
I love it. Just getting lost in the book. Okay, we're going to cut right here. We're going to go to a commercial break because we got to pay these bills, community. So don't go nowhere. We got so much more in store.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
This world we live in is so unforgiving. We all have setbacks, but the comeback make the biggest difference. Yeah, what doesn't kill you make you more resilient. So even when your world is falling down, you gotta keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Her pain is my pain. Her struggle's my struggle. Shit. I know how it feels and nobody is there to care about your dreams and your hustle.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
Beloved, many believers today are staggering at the promises of God, even though the word is never failed. That word has to come out of your mouth on a daily basis, continually. I'm going to say what God says. I'm going to say what I believe. I'm not going to believe what I see, but I'm believing what God says in His word.
Get ready for the best of Mentoring Queens, the celebration of women who inspire America's future female leaders. With profiles on NFL trailblazer Colette V. Smith.
I was a 42-year-old football player.
Medical influencer Dr. Christina Rosenthal.
We are here to serve each other.
And music mogul Catherine Bruton.
Everybody feels entitled. They've not put in the work.
Mentoring Queens, helping girls run the world.
Welcome back to Ascending with Toni Rochelle, and I'm still here with Miss Sami.
Hi.
So, you know, a lot of times people want to get started with something, and they just don't know how to take that first step into their dream or their journey or whatever it is that makes them happy. When you were talking about your book, you just kind of like, you got so happy. I seen a different glow from you. What can you tell community, like if they're feeling stuck and they want to get started with something, or maybe it's a young writer out there like you that want to be an author?
Well, my one biggest recommendation is just to write. You know, get your little notebook, get your little pen, go out and live your life, basically. J.K. Rowling, I know she's the author of Harry Potter. She was homeless when she started writing it, and she would write it in a cafe, actually at one of the same cafes we went to in Scotland. I think it's called the Elephant Pub or something like that, something with elephant in it. And she would literally be having her son, like her son was like a little baby, and she would be writing, the names and the plots of Harry Potter down on scrap paper. And, look at her now. She's one of the most, the richest authors in the UK now. So basically, she just worked with what she had. She got out in her community. She created her characters. And I pretty much do the same as well. Traveling is specifically is good if you can. You go to a cafe, you people watch, you see people, you're like, okay, he looks interesting. Let me imagine a story.
They become a character.
Exactly, they can become a character. And even if you can't go abroad, you can go to your own local community, and you can meet people there, and you can get inspired by their stories, listen to people's stories, kind of like what you're doing. I mean, you just sit and listen to people's stories, and I'm sure you've been so inspired by that.
Very inspiring. I love my guests. I love you guys.
Yeah, so basically, you meet people, you people watch, you travel, you get in different environments, and that kind of can create plots for you, can create characters for you, can create storylines for you. So definitely get out there. And you never know the people that you might be touching as well. Hearing their story, you're sitting down talking to them. They may never have had someone who wanted to hear their story before. And then you can just write it in words, and then you can show it to that person. You can dedicate a book to that person. So
what is your inspiration around writing? Why, I know you love to do it, but there's got to be something else why you're doing it.
Well, to me, I've always, like I said, I've had my first journal at 7. Writing has always been therapy for me. Like, I feel very awkward sometimes, even especially when I'm on camera. I hope the camera's not picking it up.
You fine.
But when I write, everything flows. All the ideas just flow. And I think because I had such an early start in writing, like, I never get tongue-tied or word-tied, when I'm writing something down.
That's your lane.
Exactly. So I've always been more comfortable with the written word than even with the spoken word. So yeah.
So how many journals you have? You probably have piles and piles of journals.
I still do have I have a travel journal that I write when I'm traveling. So that's when I basically make notes of the people that I meet when I'm abroad, and, write down the names and the situations and the crazy situations I get myself in. And, I have a journal for that. Personally, I don't really keep one now, but basically, if something significant happens, I do kind of just write down like something in a notebook. But
what can you tell a young writer out there that want to get started, that want to become the next author and get some books out like this? What can you tell them?
Well, tune into your imagination, make sure that imagination's strong, get into situations where you can feel inspired, definitely. I don't know if it's watching your favorite show, a lot of my characters, are basically based on many characters I've seen from Star Trek. Some of them are based on people that I've met in real life. But if you can get into places or see things, surround yourself with things that are going to inspire you, definitely.
Yes, community. There's so many things out here that can feed your soul. Go take a typing class if you like to type. If you're the person that like to kick a ball, go in the field and kick a ball.
Absolutely.
You got to do something with that energy, that spirit, that anger to help you get up, because that's what it's about. But like Sami said, find your lane. Find what it is that you want to do. If you paint, go paint. If you dance, go dance. It's something that you got to put into your life, something that you got to implement into your life. If it's not therapy, find something that you really enjoy, and that's therapy, right?
Oh, yes, definitely.
That's what I'm getting from. Okay, that's how we do it right here. We want you guys to ascend. We want you to keep pushing. We want you to get through, and you got to figure it out. You got to figure out what makes you happy. What makes you happy?
Living life, you know, I just turned 40 and it's...
Ooh, you look good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. At least on the outside. But, you know, definitely getting out there and, you know, having great experiences and meeting all sorts of amazing people and, you know, having my life touched by, you know, the amazing people I meet and hopefully touching other people's lives as well. And being able to put it in a book, like make a character out of someone, tell someone else's story, even if it's fictional. You know, most fiction is based on something true.
Yeah.
Basically. So,
it's your story.
Definitely. Or it could be someone else's, you know, kind of mixed together. You know, some people may not feel comfortable putting their direct story out there, but you know, if you wrap it up in fiction, it doesn't seem like as you know, it just doesn't seem quite as, you know, raw sometimes if you wrap it up in something else, you know.
You guys go get a journal, go get a pen, get to writing. Put your feelings on the notebook and maybe you'll feel better. But we're gonna take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
This world
Don't
we
you
live
dare
in
go
is so
nowhere.
unforgiving. We all have
Expect
setbacks, but the
We'll be
comeback
back.
make the biggest difference.
Get ready for the best of mentoring queens, the celebration of women who inspire America's future female leaders. With profiles on NFL trailblazer Colette V. Smith,
I was a 42-year-old football player.
medical influencer Dr. Christina Rosenthal,
We are here to serve each other.
and music mogul Catherine Bruton.
Everybody feels entitled. They've not put in the work.
Mentoring queens, helping girls run the world.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
This world we live in is so unforgiving. We all have setbacks, but the comeback make the biggest difference. Yeah, what doesn't kill you make you more resilient. So even when your world is falling down, you gotta keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Her pain is my pain. Her struggle's my struggle. Shit. I know how it feels when nobody is there to care about your dreams and your hustle.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's up?
Do we have a gun?
Beloved, many believers today are staggering at the promises of God, even though the word is never failed. That word has to come out of your mouth on a daily basis, continually. I'm going to say what God says. I'm going to say what I believe. I'm not going to believe what I see, but I'm believing what God says in His word.
Welcome back to Ascending with Toni Rochelle, and I'm still here having the pleasure of sitting with Miss Sami.
Hi.
Now, we got to talk about the second book. Because
Okay.
you on the road.
Yeah, well, this one is a bit longer than the first one.
It looks
but
thicker.
It is a little bit thicker. It's about, so basically all my books are continuations. People are going to hate me, but I write a series. So
Okay.
basically, whatever happens in the first book after they get lost in the galaxy, this is what happens when they find their planet after they finish getting off the first planet. So they go to another planet here. They meet another main character. Actually, one of the really big main characters they meet in the second book, but you're going to meet her only in the second book here. And basically they get in more trouble. They have to figure out a way how to get, off this planet, get repairs for the ship and things like that. So, and they need this secondary character who's a little girl to kind of help them do that. So it's actually, I find this one more entertaining than the first one, to be honest. But
you're like, my audience ain't going nowhere because they got to see what's going to happen in the next one,
right?
The next one, and the next
exactly.
one.
So that's the thing. I write series. And
I
so
love
that's
that
because
then if it's a series, it can become a sitcom or a movie. Or hint, hint, hint.
Yes. As soon as Star Trek, finally goes off the air, which will probably never be the case.
Okay,
I hope it's never be the same.
Star Trek.
Yes. Then they're going to need something to step in there and replace
That's
it.
right.
So
That's right.
Trekkies will really like my because I was huge, Star Trek, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and I kind of write my books like that, kind of episodic type of thing. So I think that Trekkies would really like my books. So
I love it. I love it. So I want you to tell the people again who you are, what you do, where they can find you at.
Okay, well, my name is Sami Van Mathis. You can find me on Instagram at Sami Van Mathis. It's the same spelling that's on the books. Both of my books are available on Amazon. If you could look me up by my name, or The Adventures of Rebel Spencer. If you look that up as well, you're going to see that also. So you can find me. I also have I'm working on a website right now. I'm adding some more stuff to it. I'm actually going to put our our talk on there as well once it's done. But I'm having it revamped. But basically Instagram is probably the best place to catch me right now. So
any lasting words that you want to leave community or anything else I can get up in your business about?
Well, definitely I do encourage people to write more. It really will help you ascend. It's something that writing is kind of like your own personal platform. It's a way that you can get your feelings out. A lot of people suffer from depression, they have mental health problems, and a lot of therapists do recommend journaling specifically as something that is a good treatment for that, basically, because a lot of people, they can't express themselves the way they may want to, or maybe they don't know how to do that. But by journaling, you can get all of your feelings out there. Maybe you can't talk to your family or your friends about it, but at least you can kind of get it on paper, and it's better than keeping it bottled up inside. So I found writing to be an amazing therapy for me. And definitely, if you want to ascend for your mental health and your wellness, definitely I do suggest writing. You may not have to write like novels or anything,
right?
But definitely put pen to paper. I think that is really a really good for your mental health, your overall well-being and wellness.
Is that your first go-to whenever you feeling down or out or just frustrated? Is that your first thing you?
Well, after prayer, I'm a Christian.
There it is, community. You heard her.
Right.
Get on them knees and pray.
Exactly. So yes, I am a Christian, and I do pray a lot. But after that, definitely, I like to write down my feelings and what's going on.
And do you actually feel different?
Oh yeah.
Do you feel relieved?
Yeah, because sometimes you just got to let it out. It doesn't matter if you let it out verbally or you let it out on paper. You just got to get those feelings out of you. And sometimes writing is the best medium for that, because sometimes when you try to let it out verbally, people take it the wrong way. They don't really understand. So writing definitely is great.
Now, you have traveled a lot. What is your favorite place that you have traveled to?
I don't really have a favorite place. Like, I'm an educator. I've been teaching English as a second language abroad for about 17 years now. And I've taught in about 6 different countries: Turkey, Croatia, Albania, Italy, Netherlands, some other, and I'm probably drawing a blank right now. Poland as well. Yeah, that's the last one. And I don't really have a favorite. Every country is beautiful in its own way. They have their own unique cuisine. They have their own unique culture. And I just enjoyed all my travels. I've learned something, special and specific from each place I've been to. So I just can't choose a favorite. But when it comes to weather and food, probably Spain or Italy. Those two. For sure. Food and weather. Definitely.
Now, we live in the Bay Area, right? And I know people that don't even travel from San Francisco to Oakland.
Right.
Or Oakland to Sacramento. So you have traveled out of the world.
Yeah.
What advice can you tell people, like, how amazing traveling is? Because some people are just really scared to, like, travel.
It really is amazing. It really opens you up to so many different things. I've met so many amazing people that I probably would not have met if I'd stayed at home. And it was one of the things that helped me get over my anxiety. I kind of pushed myself out there. I really advocate for solo travel for women. I know it can seem daunting, but at the same time, if you can't, go abroad right away, if you don't think that you're able to go abroad right away, go to the next city. go to the next state, go to the next county, go up to Canada, go down to Mexico, go to places a little bit closer to home. And then once you get used to that, then, maybe you can branch out a little bit farther and then a little bit farther. Like I went to Japan with my friend, I told you, for the first time. But once, I was with her the first time, but then I'm like, okay, I'll go back by myself the next year. And I did. And then I did the year after that. And then I went to London by myself. I'm like, okay, they speak English there.
You started it and you did it and you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I survived. So.
And you ascended.
I did. I ascended. Yes.
So you guys got to go travel.
Definitely.
It was a pleasure having you on this platform. Thank you for the insights. Thank you for being here. I can't wait to hear where you're going to go next.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see the next book. I got to read the first two first because they're pretty thick.
Yeah, it may take you a while, but good summer project.
But I look forward to reading the book.
Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Yes. Definitely. We still got a little bit more in stars. We're going to go to commercial break, but don't you dare go nowhere.
Get ready for the best of Mentoring Queens, the celebration of women who inspire America's future female leaders. With profiles on NFL trailblazer Colette V. Smith.
I was a 42-year-old football player.
Medical influencer Dr. Christina Rosenthal.
We are here to serve each other.
And music mogul Catherine Bruton.
Everybody feels entitled. They've not put in the work.
Mentoring Queens, helping girls run the world.
Beloved, many believers today are staggering at the promises of God, even though the word has never failed. That word has to come out of your mouth on a daily basis, continually. I'm going to say what God says. I'm going to say what I believe. I'm not going to believe what I see, but I'm believing what God says in His word.
This world we live in is so unforgiving. We all have setbacks, but the comeback make the biggest difference. Yeah, what doesn't kill you make you more resilient. So even when your world is falling down, you gotta keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah, gotta keep ascending. Yeah, even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah, gotta keep ascending. Yeah, even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Her pain is my pain, her struggle's my struggle. I know how it feels and nobody is there to care about your dreams and your hustle.
Welcome back to Ascending with Toni Rochelle, and I hope that you enjoyed the show today. Sami made some great points today. Go out and get you a journal and write some things down. Sometimes you just don't know how to get it out, or maybe you don't have anyone to talk to, or maybe you just too afraid to talk to someone, or you just don't feel like it, and that's okay too. But you gotta have somewhere to put those feelings at so you don't explode, because that's how life shows up when you explode. So get personal with yourself. Go write yourself a letter and tell yourself that you are beautiful, that you are gorgeous, and that you will ascend through life. I bet you if you write that note to yourself and you read it back to yourself 10 times, you'll feel better. Hey, it's just a suggestion. That's what this platform right here is for you, for us, for community, to heal and to let you know that you're not alone. You're not by yourself. And there's things that you can do to pick yourself up off the ground, to keep ascending. So until then, keep on watching this show. And if you got a story of ascension and you want to sit right here and tell me all about it, go ahead and check out our website. Get tapped in with us and come sit on the couch. Until then, see you later, community. Peace.
Get ready for the best of Mentoring Queens, the celebration of women who inspire America's future female leaders. With profiles on NFL trailblazer Colette V. Smith.
I was a 42-year-old football player.
Medical influencer Dr. Christina Rosenthal.
We are here to serve each other.
And music mogul Catherine Bruton.
Everybody feels entitled. They've not put in the work.
Mentoring Queens, helping girls run the world.
This world we live in is so unforgiving. We all have setbacks, but the comeback make the biggest difference. Yeah, what doesn't kill you make you more resilient. So even when your world is falling down, you gotta keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah, gotta keep ascending. Yeah, even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah, gotta keep ascending. Yeah, even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Her pain is my pain, her struggle's my struggle. Shit. I know how it feels and nobody is there to care about your dreams and your hustle.
Life is a series of emotions. Sometimes you feel sheltered and sometimes anxiety just comes and it just destroys your world. Sometimes you have to write your own character. Be who you want to be. You want to be happy? Go out there and be happy. You want to be stuck? Don't do nothing. But you don't want to do that. You want to ascend through life and you can do it. Write your own character. Write your own series. And realize that you're going to climb and you're going to climb and you're going to climb mountains. And that's what ascending is. That's what you can do. That's what's in you. So go ahead and pick that gift. Pick that lane. Pick that joy of that thing that you love. That thing that brings you joy. That thing that just lights you up. And you will ascend. You will get out of that situation. And you'll be like, I can't even believe that I was stuck. I can't believe that I was sheltered for so long into that emotion. You have the desire. You have the will to switch it, to change it up, to be complete. Come on now. Get up, push yourself, get through it, and keep ascending.
Your world is falling down, you gotta keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah, gotta keep ascending. Yeah, even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah, gotta keep ascending. Yeah, even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Her pain is my pain, her struggle's my struggle. Shit. I know how it feels when nobody is there to care about your dreams and your hustle. I know how it feels when you living your life on a budget as tight as a huddle. I know how it feels when you stuck in the mud trying to figure out how to rise above the rubble. Now the lost child is a lost teen that can barely read with a pretty smile and low.